All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Unlimited Podcast. Today we have Elder Dingus in the house, an MTG content creator, somebody who I've been a big fan of for, last like I think I found your content about 6 months ago and started commenting and just like consuming your content, man. You do a great job. Honored to have you on the pod, man. What's going on?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad you're enjoying the content. Obviously, love your stuff as well.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. So, how long you been playing Magic, man? Like, tell me about your Magic journey. What does it look like? Because I feel like everybody's so many people's stories are super different, but like also same sometimes like the same. So, where did it all start for you?
I started playing Magic back in 2017. I was actually like one of my buddies, it was a slow day at work, and one of my buddies was able to finally convince me to learn to play from him. He taught me how to play on shift. When we finished up, we went straight to the mall and I went and bought 2 fat packs and I was hooked from then on. It was between Amonkhet and between Our Devastation and Ixalan. Our Devastation had just come out when I started playing.
What made you start creating content?
I actually started making content back in college. So it was like 2019 or 2018 that I first started making content. Me and my boys were just hammered playing cards all the time. And so I started doing that with my friends while we were just drinking and playing cards in like the random lecture halls. Never really grew very big on YouTube until like TikTok, and that popped off a lot harder than YouTube, and then it kind of snowballed.
I feel like in the last couple of years, a lot of people have popped off for like in the Magic community from TikTok. I feel like it just gives you
Oh
a lot
yeah.
more visibility, which is really cool. TikTok has been an amazing platform for me and my business as well. So I really noticed that Magic the Gathering creators really thrive on TikTok more so than the other platforms. Now, obviously, you've got game nights on YouTube, you've got the professor and there's a bunch of like successful YouTube shows, but it seems a lot harder to kind of grow on there than it is TikTok. So that's cool.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. Especially YouTube is, I feel like it's a lot easier competition
Uh-huh.
wise on the short form
Yeah.
platforms because it's a lot easier to consume a lot of short form
Yeah.
content. If you're on YouTube watching long videos, you're oftentimes just going to stick to the people that you've been watching. So it becomes a lot harder to break through there.
100%. Of all the like formats, like what do you play the most? For me personally, I'm a big Commander player. I think most people are that, but I just ask because I feel like some people are still attached to like older formats. So I'm curious, like,
It's like 90% Commander, but mostly because it's the easiest to play. Like most people play, so it's just easy. And I like deck building and like deck design almost as much as I like playing the game. So I've got like over 100 Commander decks. But my favorite, yeah,
what? Oh
I'm
my,
at like 107, I think.
are they all like just like super casual or
Oh no, there's the
dude,
shelf of decks.
107 decks is
Yeah, and then if you look inside
crazy.
that black tray down there, those are all new decks that I'm working on.
Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy.
None of them are precons, and they range from like lowest end deck is an all commons and uncommons Tatiova combo deck. It's a really fun deck to play, and up to CDH where I have like my blinged out Tie-M deck, blinged out Curious Control deck. A lot of fun there. I try to avoid a lot of staples from deck to deck, so that way they play differently each time. And I would say that they technically are twos, but play like threes to fours for most of the decks.
So you like jank.
I have a couple of
You
jank
like
decks.
jank, it
I've got a
sounds
couple
like.
of very
It
jank
sounds like you
decks.
don't like to make like the typical like super powerful builds.
Yeah, I like doing things that the commander's not like obviously good at,
Uh-huh.
but ends up being very good at.
Okay.
So like I have a Nazan, the cat that tutors up equipment.
Uh-huh.
It's just a spy kit combo deck,
Okay.
and like spy kit's such an absurd card, so it's a very funny deck to play. But I love Commander, but my favorite format is 100% Cube. I love like Vintage Cube is my favorite.
I've never gotten to play cube really. I find it's really hard to like unless you have somebody close to you that has like a really dope cube, it's just tough to get those games in and it takes so much more time. I think for me, just from a time standpoint, man, just bust out a commander deck. You can get a couple games in and I get my fix, but I got a question for you. I want you to rank your top 5 foil treatments. There's been a
Ooh,
lot
okay.
of really, really nice foil treatments over the last like 10 years. Now, obviously, OG foils, to onslaught, all that type of stuff, you can include those in there, but like of all the
Yeah.
foil treatments that Magic has ever done, give me your top 5.
Yeah, definitely like the old foils, like foil Grim Monolith is just
So
stunning. Like the
beautiful.
old style foils are just
Yeah, untouchable. Yeah.
amazing. A lot of people don't know about these, but the Junior Super Series foils, and it kind of looks like fireworks.
Okay. Yeah. I do know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that
Yeah,
Sakura Tribe Elder. That one's cool. Okay.
the TMNT 8-bit Surge foils, the way that the 8-bit art works with the Surge foils,
Yeah.
I really
I
like
pulled a
those. Those are
ninja pizza.
clean.
I pulled a ninja pizza, and it's like I
Oh,
love that art. It's really, really cool.
the Galaxy foil I love. I love the Galaxy
Galaxy
foil.
foils were really, really good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I can get behind that.
They had two secret layers with this type of foiling, and it was like the raised gold foiling. One of them was like only mono red
Yeah,
cards, and the other one had
yeah,
like Underworld Breach
yeah.
in it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Those are so
Yeah,
cool.
those are dope. Those are dope.
Yeah, I run that Breach in my CEDH deck and in Thrasios Vile Smasher. That's a really pretty
I love
card.
that deck. Thrasios Vile Smasher. I built a Thrasios Vile Smasher uh Japanese CEDH where there's like zero interaction and you just play until you win, which is sick. But yeah, I definitely
That's
agree that
cool.
a treatment is super dope. Okay. That's a
Yeah,
nice top 5 right there. That's a nice top 5 right there. We
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
We like that. Another question for you. What is your most controversial Magic the Gathering take?
Play more Mass Land Destruction. Mass Land Destruction should be played. It shouldn't be like a thing that people like do not play. Mass Land Destruction should be played more. It's a very viable win con, and it's a good way to interact with a lot of the most difficult permanents to interact with in the game. Let me play my Armageddon in peace.
I could get behind that. I could get behind that, bro. I used to play a Super Friends, like a Narset Super Friends deck. And after
Mhm.
I'd get like 4 or 5 planeswalkers out, I would Armageddon, and like
Yep.
pretty much everybody would just scoop at that point. I think that's kind of like,
Yeah.
I definitely think that it should be played more in competitive places. There's room for more of that in competitive play. If it's not competitive, man, and you just go full land destruction and everybody's got to start from ground zero, it's just like, you're just gonna get hated on for the rest of the night, bro. Like,
Armageddon is very similar to Farewell in a game of Commander. They
mm,
have a very similar effect on the game, except Armageddon restarts mana resources, while Farewell resets all cards essentially besides mana resources. So, like if somebody goes hard to the board, Farewell, they have no cards in hand, and like their everything gets exiled. It's almost the same effect for them as if they had all their lands destroyed but had cards in hand.
I think they're both very viable in competitive decks. Like if you're playing mana white, you're 1 turn away or whatever. Just hit them with an Armageddon. You know.
Yeah, just secure the win there.
Next question for you is, we talk about Universes Beyond a lot because I personally love Universes Beyond, and I know there's mixed feelings about it for everybody, but like, where do you stand on
Mhm.
Universes Beyond? Like, you know, what do you think?
I'm fine with Universes Beyond. Some of the IPs I don't really care
Yeah,
about. Like I
which is
don't care
fine.
about Teenage Mutant Ninja
Right.
Turtles. But there's a lot of really cool card designs in the sets that I'm actually very excited
Yeah.
about. I will say I think the pacing has been fast. It feels like we're constantly either in spoiler season or in pre-release, like
Yeah. It
constant.
does. Yeah.
I haven't been doing my longer form content as much
Yeah.
recently, but I used to do videos where I would do like pick all the different legendary creatures from a set and go through like different ways that you can build the commander. Instead of like giving you, hey, here's a deck list to play, I go through like 150 cards, all for different routes that you would play that commander to try to give you ideas for how to play it. But then as the pacing picked up, it's been really hard to actually keep up on that series because it's like I would have to do one like every single day basically, and it'd take up too much time to do.
I have found frustration with that too. Like, at one point I wanted to build loot, and then like I couldn't build loot in time for like the next commander to come out, which was like Vivi, and then I was building Vivi, and then like another commander came out, and I'm like, all right, I want to build, so like I do. I definitely do understand that. Rate your top 5 Universes Beyond crossovers, and then give me 3 Universes Beyond crossovers that haven't happened yet that you would like to see. All right.
All
So just
right.
take some time, think about that. And for now, I'm going to talk about Cash Cards Unlimited, guys. If you guys are watching this right now, please hit the subscribe button and comment, interact with the video, show some love. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok. You can check us out on TikTok Lives, or you can go to cashcardsunlimited.com, where we sell absolutely everything, trading cards, some memorabilia as well. If you're looking to sell collections, we are constantly buying. We just picked up a 300K collection of sealed Pokemon and a 300K collection of Magic singles. We're always buying, guys. So if you're looking to liquidate, hit us up. Buyer at cashcardsunlimited.com. What you got? Let's start.
All right.
Let's start with
So,
your top 5 Universes Beyonds.
yeah, my top 5 universes beyond. I just pulled up a list so I could just refresh all my memory here. I got it in the top 5. I definitely have to put Fallout. I love the games. Fallout's a great franchise,
Okay. I
and
like that.
especially the original Fallout
Yeah,
set, as opposed to like the newer Secret
yeah.
Layers. Because like I built a bobblehead deck. Love that deck. It just accidentally became though a repeatedly cast the One Ring every single turn deck, but it's still sick.
Yeah.
I like the Princess Bride one. That one was a lot of
The
fun.
Princess Bride one.
The Princess Bride Secret Lair.
Oh, Secret Layer. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Universes Beyond Secret Lair.
Okay. We like that.
Yep.
We like that. Yeah.
I like the Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Secret Lair I think was overhated because it was like in the mini set. So like a lot of people just hated the mini sets. And I think that Universes Beyond should have always just been mini sets because it would have been better for like the amount of product. But Uh, the serialized cards that were in the original language, amazing. Like I have the Greek Cleopatra, and it's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think that set had a lot of really cool designs and there were some pretty good cards in it, but I definitely didn't like how small the set was, you know? And I think Assassin's Creed was a is a big enough franchise to have a full set, you know. I'm not much of a fan of the mini sets, to be honest with you. So
That's fair. Yeah, most people just did not like the
I
mini
don't
sets
hate
at all.
Assassin's Creed, by the way. Like I don't hate it, but like
Yeah,
it's a little too. I mean, you can only pull so much from it because it's so small.
Avatar, Lord of the Rings, Fallout, Princess Bride, and Assassin's Creed. Yeah.
Solid list. Okay, we take that. We take that. That's a good one. Well, I love it, man. I love it. Okay, next question. I need 3 Universes Beyonds that you would love to see. Like if you were the head designer at Magic the Gathering and you were like, we're gonna do, and you had access to every single IP on the planet. We're gonna do these 3 sets this year. What is it? What are they?
There's so many good options for this.
It
Like
is a tough question.
I think Dark Souls, like the whole franchise, would fit really well into Magic. And I only ever actually played Elden Ring, but big fan of Elden Ring. They could easily do a lot with the whole franchise. So I'd love like Elden Ring and Dark Souls would love to see. Skyrim also, or Elder Scrolls
Same.
would also fit
Those are
really
really
well.
adjacent.
Yeah, like they'd fit really well. And it would be like the a lot of people complain about Universes Beyond not feeling like Magic, but give Lord of the Rings a pass because it
Yeah,
does. These would feel in universe, like they'd feel
I agree.
correct.
I agree.
Like Witcher would be a cool one because then you could just have like Gwent be like a mini game card because Gwent's just a card game from The
Yeah,
Witcher.
which would be
You could have
sick.
Gwent be like a different card game inside the game in some way, which could be really
I like
funny.
The Witcher. I like that. I like that.
Those would be the top 3 I think that I would like to see just because they'd be great franchises for it while also just fitting in really well.
Those are, I mean, those are solid picks. You know, I've heard a couple of those before, but The Witcher I've heard many times before. Elden Rings I've heard, or hell, Elden Ring I've heard a lot of times before. I mean, they definitely make sense for the franchise. One of
Yeah.
the things that comes up for me the most, and like feels like would fit right into, you know, the Magic world, is anime crossovers. Like
Oh
have you
yeah.
ever seen Soul Eater?
I have not seen Soul Eater.
What about Fairy Tale?
I've seen, I think, a little bit of Fairy Tail, but not very
I mean,
much.
there's a million animes that it works with.
Like, I would kill for a free run crossover. That would be sick.
Freewind makes a lot of sense as well, too. Freewind makes a lot
Yeah,
of
Hunter
sense.
x Hunter would be a cool one.
That's my number one. That's my number one. Hunter x Hunter is one of my all-time favorite animes, and like, dude, there's a lot of really great characters. The spiders, like, just everything. Like Hunter x Hunter, that's my number one for sure.
That would be a really good one. Hunter x Hunter, is in my top three favorite animes. I love Hunter x Hunter.
I haven't had this conversation much with people, but like, I feel like this is something I'd like to talk about a little bit more. Like, what do you think makes a healthy playgroup?
Ooh, a healthy playgroup, a big thing is just understanding a power level.
Rule zero.
Yeah, like you after a while of playing with the same people, you'll know like what type of cards people tend to run, what people don't, what deck is a threat when they're piloting it, who just is the better players and who are the threat like before the game starts essentially, where you have to it's very funny. In my regular play group, it's whenever we're playing with somebody new, every time they always say, if CJ's not the threat, he's still the threat. Like always keep an eye on him,
Yeah,
even if he's not the threat at that time, but don't
I
yeah.
know how that feels. I
It,
know how that feels, but
yeah, just always keeping an eye on it.
I like it. I like it. Okay. So
But
what do you think? What do you think's like the quickest way to ruin to break up like a play group? You know, what's like the what's in?
it's easily an arms race. It's easily when somebody decides their decks are not good enough, and then they go ahead and put like $1,000 into their deck
Uh
to
huh.
get all staples, or build like a CDH deck or close to that when they're not playing with CDH players, and then causing other players to be upset, and then having to try to compete with that, like it can cause people to get ostracized. Like an arms race, I've seen blow up play groups so often.
Do you think that Magic players are too salty, or do you like that aspect of the game? Because I personally am super salty, and I like when the people that I play with are the same way, that we
Yeah.
match the energy. But some people get like uncomfortable, and some people like, some play groups everybody wants to like each other and stuff. Like, what do you think about that?
I am hard to get salty in a
Okay.
game, mostly because like I'm when with the people I play with the most, I just tend to be the threat, so I've gotten used to that, and so it's oh you're blowing up unless it's like a very obvious like you should be blowing up the Ashnod's altar,
Right.
not my soul
Right,
ring.
right, right, right. Okay, got you, got you, got you.
There are definitely people that can get overly salty. I'm I think that people need to just know the crowd that they're playing with on if they can like really express their
Yeah,
saltiness,
yeah.
because otherwise it might like make people
Make it
feel uncomfortable. Like
awkward. Yeah, yeah.
if it's like one person that gets salty all the time and everyone else is just like always chill, then that person could end up being could get themselves like into deep water with the rest of the group.
Yeah, I think when you start to make it personal is like when
Yes,
you make it weird, you know what I'm saying? It's like it could be
exactly.
playful and like, trash talk and all that stuff, but like when you start to make it personal,
Yes.
like they're attacking you, and like it's like, what I mean? Like it's like some like they really get their feelings hurt. Like that's where to me I'm like, all right, this is childish, but it happens. And I
Yeah.
can't say that I haven't done that before. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just so competitive that like I get over. I mean, I have gotten overly salty. I literally did it on a game nights episode one time where I was just like Josh. I remember, I'll never forget this, man. Quick story time. We got to clip this too. So
Yeah.
I'm playing. This is the first time I'm meeting Ben Bateman, and I love Ben, man. I think he's an amazing
Great
content
guy.
creator, just a really good dude. Overall, just solid human being, right? And we're sitting there playing, and like I had done nothing at this point, and he was just like destroying like all of my stuff, and I literally was like just sitting there with like the a blank face and just clearly so angry. And Josh was like, Cassius, you're like, we're filming you right now, bro. Like you can't you know what I mean? You gotta switch up your face, bro. Like this is, you know what I mean? It's bad for the video. And I was just like, dude, I was so mad, bro. But I do distinctly remember that, and I was like, dang, like I took it too far. I got too mad and made it too personal, and it was a lesson for me, bro. But like I can't say that, that's not that I've never done that, man. So it's always
Oh
it's
yeah.
always funny when other people do it, because like I've been there.
That's so funny. I've definitely been there before.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Okay, so we like to end the podcast with a little rapid fire questions, man. It's just like a fun way for us to end it off. First thing that comes to mind, just answer, like quick questions. Casual or competitive?
Competitive.
Are blue players misunderstood or villains?
Misunderstood.
Sealed or singles?
Ooh, singles.
Okay. Most overrated card?
Ristic study.
Ristic study?
If Ristic Study didn't have the option to draw a card, and it just said your opponent's spells cost one more to cast, would you even consider it for a card to be banned?
No, of course not. But card draw is like the best thing in Magic. So
Yeah, no, but so if everybody just paid the one, then the card draw thing isn't
I
there.
mean, but then it's doing its job. It's keeping people from playing other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
like,
but would that be a ban-worthy card?
I don't think I personally don't think it's a ban worthy card at all.
Yeah,
It, there's
yeah,
there's
yeah, good,
tons
good,
of
good.
there's tons of removal for Ristic Study. There's tons of removal for anything. It costs 3, so it's not super expensive, and you could just pay the one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can just pay the
You could
one.
just pay the one. But like in CEDH, it does become a bigger issue. But again, there's tons of removal out there. Like you can spend 1 green and get rid of enchantments. You can spend, I think the cheapest white spell for enchantment removal is like maybe 2, but you don't have to spend much mana to get
Just
rid of it.
disenchant
Yeah.
for one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Disenchant. Like there's ways to get rid of Ristic Study. So I have
Oh yeah.
people calling for its
And
ban is like the most annoying
yeah,
thing to me.
it's crazy. Like it's a card that you can just play around and like if it just hard locked people to always having to pay the one, it's a card that people wouldn't even be discussing.
Yeah, 100%. Amongst casual play, I think more often than not when I'm playing competitive, like if a player can pay the one, then they pay the one. This last question's funny. Are you actually a dingus? What is a dingus? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did this name, like a spell? Explain to me where Elder Dingus came from, and like
Yeah.
what is a dingus?
Back when I made the channel originally, it was back in college.
Right.
Me and my boys were all drinking, playing cards, having fun, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I decided I wanted to start doing content. And I asked like my play group to help me come up with a name. And so my buddy Max, he like we were all very drunk. My buddy Max came up with Elder Dingus Highlander.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, we'll do that as a placeholder for
Okay.
now. And it was a play on because Elder Dragon Highlander is EDH or
Right.
commander.
Right. Right.
And the card Dingus Egg is like an actual card all the way back to Alpha.
Yeah.
And so like my logo is based off of Dingus
Oh, okay.
Egg.
Okay.
And I've
Okay.
actually got a um this is pretty cool. So I've got this artist proof Dingus
Oh,
Egg,
that's sick.
which and on the back of it,
Uh-huh.
Dan Frazier sketched my
Dan
logo.
Frazier is an amazing artist as well. That's super cool, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
tight.
so it just became like that was just a play on Elder Dingus Highlander, Elder Dragon Highlander and Dingus Egg.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. I mean, that makes a lot of sense now. That makes a lot of sense. I'm
Yeah.
glad we asked. All right, bro. Last question. First off, I just want to say thank you so much for making the time to come on here and joining the platform and doing the podcast with us, man. We're a big fan of yours, and we'll continue to support you going forward. And I love consuming your content, man. So keep going and keep doing your thing. But last question is, what are you most excited about with the state of Magic right now? Like, what are you looking forward to,
Hmm.
and what do you think the best aspects of Magic are right now?
It's just growing so rapidly and just becoming so much more mainstream. So it's just fun to see. Like I have so many friends from like just like my childhood and growing up and everything that I'm still like friends with and hang out with regularly now wanting to learn how to
Yeah.
play. because they just see more of it and they're like, oh, I liked to, especially Avatar. Like one of my friends was a huge Avatar fan. He was just like, there's Avatar cards now. I need to know how to play. So it's just fun getting all my old friends into the game now, like and joining into the hobby. That's thanks to Universes Beyond in a very large part.
That's what I'm saying, man. Universes Beyond has really drawn a ton of like people who, never considered Magic either from like a collector standpoint or a playing standpoint that are into it now. Lord of the Rings was huge. Final
Oh
Fantasy,
yeah.
like, I know, I think Final Fantasy is the set that got my boy Steve Aoki into it. He's got a full set of PSA 10 like chocobos, and now he's
Oh,
the owner of the only PSA 10 Auto 10 Alpha Lotus. So he's, you got guys like him making big investments into the game because of Universes Beyond draw so much attention. And then like, dude, Avatar Last Airbender, I think has single-handedly brought more players to the game than any other set. I know Final Fantasy was
mhm.
huge, but like so many people relate to that show, and so many people have like such like I have such fond memories in it. It's like so one of those shows I rewatch every couple of years. So like
Yep.
Universes Beyond has really done so much for the growth of the game, and like that's why I always talk about it and I always, praise it because, ultimately like what I've always wanted for Magic the Gathering is for more people to know about it because I think it's the best game in the world. So,
Yeah.
couldn't agree with you more, man. I think Universes Beyond is definitely the best thing in Magic right now. And,
Yep.
are they
And also
going at
Also, Universes Beyond just gives so much design space. Like the designs for cards that are based off of a character, like the Deadpool card,
sick?
is so
Yeah,
cool.
bro.
And like that's a card that would not exist if it weren't for the character
Yep.
Deadpool. Like they wouldn't print that normally. That's not a card they would have come up with because it's just top-down Deadpool.
Exactly. And then like bro, like the SpongeBob smothering tide, the Mr. Krabs, money, 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 money. Dude, like I love that's so good. Like,
It's so
it's not
good. When they lead into the memes,
yeah,
it's so
it's
good.
not serious. People were mad that it's not serious, but it's funny. Like Magic is funny, bro. Shit
Yeah.
happens at the table that's like when people get mad, when I get mad or somebody else gets mad, I think it's funny. You know what I mean? Like there's funny aspects. There's every aspect in the game when you're playing, man. So but yeah, bro, Universe Beyond is so amazing. So I couldn't agree with you more there
Mhm.
for sure. But my brother, I want you to, drop all of your tags, tell everybody where they can follow you, how they can support you.
Yeah.
And yeah, just talk to the people for a little bit before we wrap up.
Yeah. Elder Dingus Highlander on all platforms, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, all of that stuff. I've started streaming a little bit on Twitch now too, but I'm not really streaming much for Magic. That's just I'm want to play certain games and I don't want to get too sucked into those
Right.
games, so I'm making myself only play them on
Yeah.
stream. And yeah, you can find me everywhere basically. It's Elder Dingus Highlander.
Elder Dingus Highlander, you guys heard it first, man. Go show this man some love, go show him support. Comment on his content and just show love, guys. That's why we started the Unlimited podcast, is to give other creators in the collectible space a platform, man. So again, I appreciate you so much for making the time today. It was a blessing to get to talk to you, brother. I really appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Cash. It's been a
All right,
blast.
brother. Appreciate you.